All right, everyone, it's my pleasure to add another institution to the Connect platform, this time in Oral Roberts University in Oklahoma. Guys, Coach John Bloom is here with us. He's the Director of Sports Performance down there. We have quite a few connections that we actually just established before we were on the call here. Alex D, obviously currently recording this in 2023. Alex D is there with them. He was an intern coach with us at Marquette a few years back, and also when Coach Bloom here was a student athlete himself at Abilene Christian. We had Coach Lindsay Nicholson, now Coach Lindsay Winter, who was down there as well. So it's cool to see like how connected this field really is. People talk about network the whole time, but it's a small world. So, get to know people as much as you can. But anyway, enough of me talking. Coach, go ahead and introduce yourself a bit more. Tell us about like your background, maybe your developmental experiences that you had along the way that have kind of stepped you to where you are right now.
Definitely. First of all, I appreciate you having me on here. Like you said, I was at Abilene Christian. I went there first actually as a student athlete to play football, and I played a year of football. And then after that, I decided to stop playing. And my sophomore year, I started interning. My first mentor is Brandon Decker. He's now the director of basketball at UTEP, and he was fantastic and gave me a lot of opportunity to learn and coach, and working with him with men's basketball and volleyball. And then that just grew into working with a lot of other sports there at Abilene Christian. And then eventually started taking some teams over while I was still kind of in my undergrad. And then when I finished up, I kept working there full time for another year and a half before then going to Weber State. So Weber State, I was the director of men's and women's basketball there. And then after that, I went to Texas Tech, where I was the assistant strength coach for men's basketball. And then now from Texas Tech, I'm here at Oral Roberts, where I'm the director.
Awesome. So it seems like, obviously you started as a football athlete. Presumably you played football in high school.
Yep.
But before then, and now it seems like at least the last 2-3 stops, you've been a bit more basketball centric, if you want to call it that. How did that come about for you? Was it a conscious decision that you're like, I really enjoy working with basketball athletes or basketball coaches, or did it just happen that you were placed with that team and you kind of got into the groove?
I think it's a mix of both. Like I played basketball my whole life until, I got to college. I was just better football player, but I love basketball. And then when I started working with Brandon Decker at ACU, his main team was men's basketball. So just, having my first mentor being a men's basketball person and just having that experience kind of, I guess, just pushed me towards that path as I could do there. But, I did a lot with women's basketball, where that was one of the first sports that I kind of took over at ACU. So just kind of a lot of early experiences, I think, just pushed me that way, while also just loving the sport. And I really enjoy working with, a smaller program where there's a smaller number of athletes and the things you can do with that, as opposed to having, a huge football team where you just have a much bigger roster.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's almost a complete 180 between, having 80 to 100 guys versus maybe whatever 15 to 20 at a big roster. But yeah, absolutely 100% agree with that. That's great. So now Oral Roberts, obviously you haven't been there for too long, and now you have a brand new shining weight room that you've just moved into. The pictures look incredible, and obviously it's never about the equipment or the facility that you have. It's about what you do in it. And the kind of the people you surround yourself with, but it certainly makes life easy when you have a nice space to work in every day, and the equipment that you guys have. So maybe tell us a little bit about how you've moved into the Mike Carter Athletic Performance Center, and how that's going to help kickstart this internship.
Yeah, so really we moved into the facility about 4 or 5 weeks ago. So I got here May 1st. So when I got here, we were still in the previous facility, which is attached to the baseball stadium. And the space, I mean, it had what you need, but the space is much smaller than what we have now. So in terms of just scheduling teams, our offices, we were all in the same office. That's about as big as my personal office now. So it was pretty crowded there, where we didn't really have space for a lot of, interns to really getting that going, because there wasn't the space for it. But now in the facility, we have just space in terms of scheduling teams, and having space to have interns, have a graduate assistant, just have, staff. It's a big priority for me and my staff that, okay, now that we have the space, we really want to start this program and get it rolling, and make it a big deal, where in the past it couldn't really be done, but now we can do it with the facility we have.
Yeah, that's excellent. It really is a catalyst to kind of getting people in the door.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, and whether for right or for wrong, if there's a young coach who's looking for a place to go and develop, then maybe a kind of a grungy small weight room doesn't really sound that appealing. But when you have something like you guys have, it's obviously a nice carrot out there as well. But obviously the curriculum, the people that you're around really dictates how good that internship is going to be. Knowing that you guys are kind of just starting out, what are you hoping? What kind of value really are you hoping that you're going to be able to deliver to these young coaches who maybe it's their first internship, maybe it's their third one? What kinds of things are you hoping to teach them, whether it's curriculum or kind of skill sets?
Well, first of all, so Andrew Nilo, one of the assistants, he's directing kind of the education for our internship program. And we've had one intern here in the summer that we've kind of been working with, and Andrew's incredibly smart, incredibly good at what he does, just helped bring our baseball team to the College World Series. Yeah. So he's doing a fantastic job with that. And then both me and Alex also partake in that, and help drive conversation, as we just go into different conversations and just help. Okay, the intern's been working with me with basketball. Okay, how does what he's talking about apply to what we've been doing? Like, what do you see? Okay, do you see why we're doing this now? So I think that's a big thing. Andrew is great at that. And then I think with being a mid-major, what I've seen in my experience also being at Abilene Christian, right? We don't have as many people on staff. We don't have as many resources. We don't have as many people trying to come intern as maybe a big Power 5 school. But I think, I choose that every day because that gives you more opportunity, right? More opportunity to actually coach, have more value and gain more value from that. So like when I was an intern, a student assistant, I was able to lead workouts, lead teams, right? So I think, here where we have more responsibility on our plates, right, and spread more thin than a bigger program, when you come here as an intern, right, you're not just going to clean or just do whatever, where you're not actually getting value. We're going to, once you gain our trust and you grow in the program, okay, we're going to try and give you ownership of different aspects of the program. Because I think that's where you really grow as a coach, is when you have to coach and you have to do things and you're thrown in the fire a little bit. And you see what you're about, and you take what we're trying to learn and put it into practice.
Right. Yeah. I think that's such an important point that a lot of young coaches don't necessarily recognize, like, straight away. Sometimes it's like, want to go to the place or the institution that has the big well-known logo, or want to go to that Power 5 school, but you got to read between the lines a little bit and think about, okay, where am I at? Where do I want to get to? Where are the gaps in my coaching ability or coaching knowledge? And if it's the fact that on your resume, you can't say that you have actually led teams in different areas of warm-up, main sessions, conditioning, whatever it is. And exactly, a place that needs that help, where coaches are going to look to you to say, you're taking this team, go. Maybe that's the experience that you need. So yeah, it's great to hear. So maybe paint a picture for us about, if you just projected yourself into a week in the fall semester or the spring semester, and intern coaches are in and they're rolling, like, what does the typical daily, weekly schedule look like to them in terms of, this is typically when our day starts, this is typically when it ends, we only train Monday through Friday, or there's some weekend stuff here and there? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be obviously different sports in season, out of season, have different schedules. But one of our plans of what we want to do with our program is each intern would have a mentor coach on our staff, whether that's me, Alex, Andrew. That's kind of all of us, right? We're all going to work together and all try and pour into everyone. But that person on staff is kind of really responsible for your development, and that you can really go to with anything. And that can also be based on your interest. Okay, these are maybe the sports that I'm really interested in going into. And so then, okay, you're going to really work with that coach and be more involved with those programs that they're working with. So, if you're working with me with men's basketball, men's soccer, then you're going to be involved more so with those lifts. And that's not to say that, okay, you can't work with other programs, because we want you to have a very vast and diverse experience with working a lot of sports, especially early on. But that'll be kind of the foundation of where they work with. So, right now we do more so with most sports, more full team training than a lot of small groups, just because of class schedules and stuff that are going to happen. So, it'd be depending on the sports, but, you'll probably have more in the morning. With some of the sports, it's going to be, 6:30. Some of them might be more a little bit later, 7, 8. And then a lot of afternoon, evening with that, where in the midday, there'll be groups interspersed, but there's, a lot more classes going on where in chapel here, where then you can have time to lift, read, and that's when we'll do more staff development, discussion type stuff during that midday part. Right there.
Yeah, it's good. I like that model actually of having that single point person that you kind of go to. It's almost reminiscent of almost like Navy SEAL boat crews, where you have that one point man, and you're responsible with that person, so that you don't have like a diluted attention to you if you have a number of interns and just one point person. So that's really neat, and it's cool, obviously, that you're going to pour into other people. It's not just that one individual. But I do like that. Yeah, that's really good. So then, thinking about these young coaches who might be watching this video right now, what the culture and environment and the attention to detail is like at Oral Roberts. So if there's a young coach that's watching this video and they're thinking about applying to an internship with you guys, what is going to stand out to you in a cover letter or a resume? How are they going to convey the right things for you to say, let's give this person a call? Like, what characteristics, skill sets, personalities are you kind of looking for in a young professional?
I think the biggest thing that we're looking for is really just eagerness to learn, eagerness to work, and to want to do this, right? With interns coming in, we're not so concerned with you knowing everything. We're more concerned with who you are, and that you really want to be curious, right? I think that's one of the biggest things with intern we have right now. Like, we're like, hey man, like, ask questions every day. Like, whether it's, you feel like it's the smallest thing, biggest thing, like, you need to ask us questions right now. And let's talk about it, right? And that's how you're going to learn, is through asking us. And all three of us on staff right now, we're trying to learn too, and be curious. We don't have it figured out. So we want people coming in that want to be a part of that, where we're all trying to, grow and develop and bounce things off of each other, and help each other learn, where it's, it's not this hierarchy thing, but we're all here trying to develop. And we just want people that come in and be great people, part of that, right? Our university, it's a small university, Christian based, but it's just full of really great people that, like you were saying, level of detail, especially in this new facility, it's incredible. And we're trying to maintain at the highest quality. And, we just want someone that wants to do everything to the highest standard, wants to learn, wants to be a part of a great group. And then, the rest of the knowledge base, we can figure that out and help them develop there.
100%. I feel like that's the answer we all give, and it's there's a reason why we all give that answer, because again, it doesn't matter how much you know when you get there. Really, it matters about how much value are you going to try to add, how much you're going to, the phrase being, make the big time where you're at. So contribute on a high level. I feel like the best interns that we've ever had are those that they eventually move on, and then the next semester rolls around and all the student athletes are asking, where's so-and-so? Like, and they're not coming back. No, they got a job. They're gone. Because they just like showed up on a daily basis, and they try to add value all the time. Yeah, that's great. Well, again, thanks so much for, being on the Connect platform and starting this internship program. We need more of these around the country, of those who are trying to really push this profession forward, especially starting with the next generation of performance professionals and giving them a really good start into the profession. So we really appreciate that. Obviously, anyone who's watching this video can check out the details that are on the page below. And as the semesters turn over, there'll be updated deadlines, durations, etc. So please feel free to reach out to Coach John Bloom here to get any more information that you might desire as well.